Hello beautiful people, you're welcome back to Nazi Stars YouTube channel. In this video, you're going to learn how to make this beautiful Bubu dress with a sequin fabric and an inner wear which doubles as a lining. Please keep watching and make sure to watch this video to the end. I'll be making use of these 3 yards of sequin fabric and 2 yards of bridal satin fabric. The bridal satin will serve as the inner wear, but I'll be making a little twist to it, so I would love you to watch to see how I'm going to be sewing it together instead of sewing the inner wear separately as usual. I'll be starting with the sequin fabric, and I've gone ahead to fold it into 4 because I'll be cutting the front and the back together. Okay, that end is the open side while this other side is the folded end. Then I drew a straight line across the fabric at the top of the fabric. If you look at the sequin, you'll notice that the edge of the sequin has some inches of 2 nets around it. Okay, so I wrote this line on top of where the sequin started from. So that's where I'll be taking my vertical measurements from. I'll be making use of 3 inches for the neck width. So from that folded part of the fabric, I'm going to be marking 3 inches on that border line. Then starting from the folded part of the fabric again, I'm going to be marking 24 inches for the sleeve length. Now, to do this particular method, you're going to be taking your measurement from the center of your back to where you want the sleeve length to get to. So that was how I measured this particular one to arrive at 24 inches. So I'll just go ahead and mark 24 inches at that end. From there, I'll come down by 1.5 inches for the shoulder slope. Then I'll get my stretch ruler and connect it to the neck width. From the shoulder slope, I'll come down by 10 inches for the sleeve opening. This is how wide you want the sleeve opening to be. Then I will rule a line across there. For the front neck depth, I'll be making use of 3 inches as well. I'll connect the marks and then curve it out using my freehand method. Then for the back neckline, I'll be making use of 1.5 inches. I'll connect all these marks to the neck width. So I'm going to cross check my sleeve length again. And I have 24 inches here. I'm going to be marking this 24 inches on the sleeve opening line this way. Then I'll connect it back to the beginning of the sleeve. This is just to get a straight line at that sleeve opening. Starting from the borderline, I'm going to measure and mark the length of the dress. This is how long you want the dress to be. Then I'll come to the hem of the dress. Here, you're going to be marking a measurement that will allow you to walk freely. So I'll be adding 5 extra inches to a quarter of the hip measurement I am working with. Okay, then I'll add extra 1 inch for the side seam allowance. That is hip circumference divided by 4 plus 5 inches ease plus extra 1 inch for seam allowance. Now your ease allowance must not be 5 inches. You can do 3 inches or 2 inches or 4 depending on what you want. Okay, so at this sleeve opening line, I'm going to come in by 3 inches and place a mark there. Now I'm going to be connecting this mark to the mark on the hem. Okay, I'll connect it straight down to the hem to meet with that other mark on the hem of the dress using my straight ruler. The next thing I'm going to be doing now is to add 0.5 inch to the shoulder slope. This is for the shoulder joining allowance. The next step is the cutting process, and I'll be cutting the back neckline first. When I get to the neckline area, I'll be cutting out only the back neckline. Then I'll proceed to cut out the sleeve area, the side, and down to the hem. Then by the time I'm done, I will remove the back part and then cut out the front neckline. Don't make the mistake of cutting out the front neckline together with the back. So I forgot to place a little curve around the armhole, so I'll proceed to do that now. Then I'll continue with the cutting of the dress. Before cutting out the front neckline, I'll first of all remove the back bodice of the dress. Then I'll rearrange the front part, making sure that the center front is well arranged. Then I'll proceed to cut out the front neckline. Now for the satin fabric, I have placed it on fold here. I folded it into four, just the same way I folded the sequin fabric. Just fold the normal way we would normally fold for a bubu. Then I ruled a line across the top of the fabric, which will serve as the border line and where the vertical measurement will be taken from. And the first measurement I'm going to be marking is the neckline. I'll be using exactly the same measurements of neckline I used on the sequin fabric. That's what I'm going to be marking on this bridal satin fabric as well. So I'll mark the front neckline of 3 inches by 3 inches, and I'm going to be connecting it using my freehand method. And for the back, I'll proceed to also mark out the 1.5 inches for the back neck depth, and I'll connect everything to the neck width. So starting from the folded part of the fabric, I'm going to measure and mark the shoulder measurement divided by 2. Then I'll come down from that point by 1 inch. That is the shoulder slope, and I'll be connecting it to the neck width. From the shoulder slope, I'm going to come down by the chest line measurement, and I'll rule a line across there. I'll also mark half of my shoulder measurement on this line, then I'll connect the 2 marks like so to get the armhole line. I'll then locate the middle of this armhole line. I'll get the midpoint. Then at that middle, I'll come in by 0.5 inch, then connect the mark to the shoulder slope. On the chest line, I'll mark a quarter of my bust circumference, then I'll curve the armhole. So starting from the borderline, I'm going to be marking the length of the lining, which is also the inner wear. Ensure that the length of this inner wear is around 5 inches shorter than the main dress. If your main dress is around 54 inches, ensure that you mark around 50 to 49 inches for this lining or inner wear. So at the hem, I'm going to measure and mark the hip circumference divided by 4 plus 5 inches is plus extra 1 inch for the side seam allowance. Then I'll connect this mark to the mark on the chest line. I'll proceed to add 0.5 inch to the shoulder slope for the shoulder joining allowance. As usual, I'm going to start cutting from the back neckline, then I'll cut through the shoulder slope, the armhole, the side, and down to the hem, after which I'll come back and cut out the front. I'll first of all remove the back bodies, then I'll proceed to cut out the front neckline. The first thing I'm going to do is to finish up the armhole of both the back bodies and the front bodies of this bridal satin fabric. Okay, I'll be making use of this bias tape. I couldn't get the same color of this bridal satin fabric, so I will be making use of the one I have available. So now, for me to finish it up nicely, I'll be starting from the right side of the fabric to sew. I'll first of all sew from the right side. After sewing from the right side, I will turn it over to the wrong side and finish it up. With this method, the color of the bias will not be showing at the right side of the fabric. Let me quickly do that now and show you the outcome. So this is what it looks like after sewing it neatly. Okay, I've also gone ahead to iron it very well. That's why it's looking so flat and beautiful. So ensure to iron yours as well. So I went ahead to also finish up the hem of the dress. I will bring the front bodice of the sequin fabric and also the front bodice of the bridal satin fabric, and I'm going to be placing it this way. I will make sure that the wrong side of the bridal satin fabric is touching the right side of the sequin fabric. I repeat, the wrong side of the bridal satin fabric will be on top of the right side of the sequin fabric. This is because after turning the neckline, the right side of the bridle will now face the sequin inside. You understand it when you're sewing it. Okay, just do it exactly the same way I am doing mine. Now I'll take it to my sewing machine. I'll align it very well at the neckline area. Remember, they have the same neckline, and I'll go and sew 0.5 inch to turn the neckline, just the neckline. Now for the back bodice, the first thing I did was to iron the center back to give me that crease line there. That will guide me when I'll be marking the length of the slit. There will be a slit at the center back because I'll be fixing a button at that center back. Okay, now starting from the neckline, I'm going to measure about 5 inches for my back slit. You can make use of any length of your choice, but for the purpose of this tutorial, I'll be making use of 5 inches. I'll just mark 5 inches there, and then round the crease line, I'll be marking 0.25 inch. That's where I'll be sewing on. Okay, on the left hand side and at the right hand side of that center line, I'll be marking about 0.25. That's a quarter of an inch. That is where I'll be sewing on. I'll open up the back bodice of the sequin fabric this way, okay, with the right side facing up. Then I'll bring the back bodice of the bridal satin fabric, and I'll be placing it the same way I placed the front bodice. The wrong side of the bridal satin fabric will be on top of this right side of the sequin fabric. Then I'll take it to my sewing machine, and I'm going to be sewing 0.5 inch to turn the neckline. After turning the neckline, I will then sew on the line I marked for the slit opening. Okay, I'm going to do that and then show you the outcome. But before then, I have a piece of fabric that I cut out for the button loop. So here is the button loop I already prepared. I'm going to be lifting up the bridal satin fabric at the wrong side. I'll come down by 0.5 inch from the neckline. I'll place the button loop there and use my pin to hold it down. Okay, it's going to remain there while I am turning the neckline and sewing on the line I marked for the slits. So here is the front bodice. I am done sewing the neckline. I'm done turning the neckline, and I also notched round the neckline to help it relax better, and I top stitched the same allowance towards the bridal satin. Okay, this will help it to relax very well. Then for the back bodice, this is what I have. I first of all turned the neckline, notched it round, top stitched the same allowance before sewing on the line I marked for the slits. I'll come in with my scissors and cut through the center back. I'll be cutting on that crease line, then I'll stop exactly at where my stitch stopped. Okay, I'll stop at that 5 inches where I stopped sewing. After that, I'll turn it inside out. I'll turn the fabric inside out and give it a very good press. So when you turn it inside out to the right side, this is what it should look like. You see how neatly finished that part is looking, and look at the button loop. It is well placed. Okay, to join the shoulder, I'll open up the front bodice and I'll bring in the back bodice and place it on top of it, right side facing each other. I'm going to align it very well at the shoulder area. And now the method of the shoulder joining will be bridal satin to bridal satin and sequin fabric to sequin fabric. You're going to be joining the back and the front bridal satin shoulder and the front and back sequin fabric shoulder. Okay, just look at the way I am arranging it. Look at it very well. You can pin it down to hold it together. When you're sewing, you're going to start sewing from the bridal satin down to where the sequin fabric stopped at the sleeve length. You come over to the other side of the shoulder and also repeat the same thing. The next thing I'm going to do now is to join the sides of the bridal satin fabric. So I'm going to flip it over like so, and I'll locate the right side of the bridal satin fabric. I'll place it right side of each of them facing the other, right side of the front facing the right side of the back, and I'm going to be closing up the sides. Okay, that's exactly what I'm doing here. I'll use my pin to hold it down, then I'll take it to my sewing machine and sew 1 inch. I'll come over to the other side as well. I'll place it right side facing each other. I'll go and close it up using 1 inch as well. Remember, the hem is already finished up. The next step is to finish up the hem of the sleeve opening. This is the sequin fabric. I'll finish up the hem of the sleeve opening. I'll fold it twice and stitch on it. I'll do the same thing for the other parts of the sleeve opening as well. The final thing is to close up the sides of the sequin fabric and finish up the hem. So I have placed it right side facing each other. I used my pin to hold it down from the beginning to the hem. Then I'll take it to my sewing machine and sew 1 inch to close up the sides. I'll come over to the other side as well and close it up as well. Okay, after doing all that, this is the final outcome. See how beautiful this Bubu dress is looking. Please, if this video was helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you're yet to do so, leave a very nice comment below. If you have any question, drop it in the comment section. I'll make sure to respond to all the questions. And please remember to share this video with your friends and your loved ones. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for sticking with me, and see you in my next video. Bye.